Yeah.
If you're in Windermere and up toward Ocoee, you need to probably seek shelter anyway, and that's because that storm has a possible rotation that Brian's been talking about, and he's tracking that out. And here are some of the places that are involved. Winter Garden, it'll be there at 9:12. It's not very long, it's 10 minutes from now, and Ocoee just a minute after that. That's why it's so important for you to be as safe as possible and be quick, because these storms are moving rapidly. And we haven't any confirmations yet of anything on the ground, but we have a spin in the atmosphere in these storms, and that's why we have had tornado warnings basically throughout the day, and these have been associated with these bands that are coming in. I'll show you that in just a minute. This is showing you the tornado watch that is going on till 11 o'clock, and if we get a tornado warning, it'll pop up immediately here. We do have a couple of tornado warnings that are up the coastline. You can see those that are already showing, but none in our immediate area right now. However, that thunderstorm that Brian was showing you has a very good chance to have a pretty good spin in it and perhaps drop at least a funnel cloud or tornado, and that's why it's better to be safe than sorry. And it's coming from this band. The band is weakening somewhat compared to the one that's behind it, but if you look very carefully, we're going to have a little break there between them, and you may think it's all over with. It's not quite over, because the storm starts to make landfall, and these two batches are what's affecting us now in the immediate future, in the next few hours. There'll probably be more after that, even through tomorrow morning. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to track out the distance there to just give you an idea how far away that second band is, because see, it's going to be driving along the coastline soon, and this is showing you the distance to Orlando. It's only 100 miles away, and it's not moving that fast. So even though we're getting a little break there, it's going to be coming in with another band that's even stronger behind it. Brian, there's something else new you said about it's issued for 9:30?
Yeah, Mike, that's that cell we were saying, you know what, looks like there's going to be a tornado warning issue. We were almost guaranteeing a warning with this one because it had such a good couplet, and that is for the folks that are out into western Orange and southwestern Seminole County until 9:30. While you're there, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. So why don't you talk us through what we're looking at as I put this into motion, because it's that same storm we were just showing in near Lake Buena Vista, and said, you know what, guaranteeing that we're probably going to see an extension to that warning.
Yeah, and it's coming out of this batch. This is a feeder band coming off of the storm system that's a hurricane. It's strengthening too, and it continues to drive toward the coastline. But we're getting these bands coming in, even though the immediate threat of the hurricane isn't upon us. We have threats of isolated tornadoes with these storms that are coming in with the driving rain. And what Brian is doing, he's changed it now to velocity, and this shows storm wind, and basically just shows the wind that's going toward and away from the radar. It can't actually see the wind. What it's seeing is the raindrop, and all the raindrops added together, it can tell the motion, because the wind drives the direction of those raindrops, and we get the forward motion toward the radar site, which is showing up in green, and red showing it away from the radar site, which is coming out of Melbourne. And right there is where we have a rotation. Even though it's not showing the actual rotation, but it's showing the wind going away and toward, we get a rotation out of that. And a pretty strong wind aloft above us that causes a broad scale circulation that eventually could drop a small scale circulation. That's why we have tornado warnings issued. And that warning, you said, is until 9:30. Is that right, Brian?
Till 9:30, moving to the north. It says moving to the north at 35 miles per hour. So I put in some locations there, and it's going to be crossing some bigger cities here shortly as well.
Yeah, it'll be a Winter Garden here not too long from now. Brian's showing 9:13, and Ocoee about 9:16. If it holds together, it's going to be at Lake Popka at about 9:24. Of course, that's the duration of the actual warning, which is for the next 25 minutes, and that's how fast it's going. See, it's going very quickly within this box, and Brian had to draw a track box out a very long way because of how fast these storms are going. We've had storms going 50 to 60 miles an hour, but individual storms going 30 to 40 miles an hour, and that's what this one's doing. And there may be more warnings issued a little bit later on, because we got that other batch I showed you that's offshore coming in, and it's these bands that have the possibility of producing these tornado warnings. Brian's shifting back to the actual radar, showing you through time. We haven't had a lot of lightning to focus on. There's only been about 10 lightning strikes over the past 15 minutes, but here's the circulation. There's the eye. That's the center, and we can see all the way down to the center, and then showers and storms, the strongest ones that he's drawn around, right around where that center is. But these bands are just coming off, breaking off, and just coming out pretty fast from the actual hurricane. And here's that one band that we're dealing with right now. We had several of these throughout the day, and that's why we had several tornado warnings throughout the day. Haven't any confirmed tornadoes yet, which is good. We don't want to see that, but we still got to warn you anyway because of the high potential of tornadoes to be spawned. And then here comes this band. It's going to be coming over toward Tampa, where they definitely don't need to get the brunt of it. Should be weakening, though, once it hits those areas. However, it's still going to be as strong as this one coming in that's in through right now. And those of you that are out toward what it looks like Sumter County, and well, Sumter County is getting a break. You get out toward Seminole County and also into Volusia County. That's driving your way. I know the storms we've been tracking moving north, but the actual band is driving in that direction. So be prepared. It's best if you have errands to run, you can put off. I mean, unless it's an emergency, you need to put them off because here comes a band that's going to be driving in over the next hour as it sweeps toward the coastline. And that band, even though it shows not as much red in it, that's not the focus. You're going to get heavy rain and you're going to get a few lightning strikes, but the focus is the spin that could be possible from these bands dropping a tornado. So that's why we changed the velocity product and we try to look for these signatures like Brian's showing now. And it's still showing up. South of Windermere, there's a pretty good one there, Brian. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it's still there, and